Welcome to MSP Voice, the weekly show for MSPs by MSPs. Brought to you by Cloudberry, the #1 cross-platform cloud backup. Learn more at cloudberrylab.com. This is MSP Voice. Hello and welcome to MSP Voice. This is episode number 46. Today I'm pleased to be joined by Arismonty Beato out of the Dominican Republic. Talks about the services they focus on there, really on business continuity, disaster recovery. So really interesting interview with Arismonty today. First up, we have some housekeeping items. Of course, mspvoice.com is your source for all things MSP Voice. Got all the past episodes out there. Also talk about the webinars we've got coming up. We have 2 webinars this week, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. Hopefully, if you can join us, but if you can't, the recordings will be available on mspvoice.com within a week of them airing live. So definitely check that out. Also, we are looking for feedback. So please give us your feedback on MSP Voice on the podcast. We're giving away $500 Amazon gift cards. If you do participate, you'll be entered into the drawing for that. It's a quick survey. Just let me know how I'm doing, and then also any changes that you'd like to see. So we're asking, a number of different questions. Definitely check it out if you're a listener. We'd love to get your feedback. So what's the news of the week? So this week, mostly from Channel E2E, because they're a good source for MSP news. First up is healthcare MSP acquisition. Medicus IT is buying CompuTech City. So Medicus is based out of Atlanta, CompuTech City out of Orlando. So this really gives Medicus a bigger reach in the Southeast United States. I don't know if it'll cover all of Florida, but definitely Orlando area. And this is not the first acquisition for Medicus. They've also acquired a Phoenix-based healthcare MSP. So looks like Medicus is growing. They may end up having a nationwide footprint here at some point. So if you're in the healthcare vertical, this may be of interesting news for you, as we've got someone who's looking to grow. Next up is a quick article about certifications, yay or nay. And the article just doesn't necessarily make any opinions, but it just kind of goes back and forth between what are the benefits of getting certified versus not. And these aren't, these certifications are like, your Microsoft, your security certs, your Cisco's, those types of things, where you can, hey, if you get certified, you can put it up on your web page and say, you've got certified, whatever. Of course, if you only have one person in your company who's certified and not, multiple people, it may end up doing more harm than good if not everyone can talk about that particular certification or what they know. So take that into consideration. But really is kind of asking the question, is it worth the money? Can you get more business by being quote unquote certified? And again, it doesn't necessarily say yes or no one way or the other, but I thought it was an interesting question. If you have comments, definitely let us know on the comments of the blog post for this episode on mspvoice.com. Next up is some interesting privacy news. States are raising the stakes in GDPR-inspired privacy laws. So if you're familiar with GDPR, it's in the European Union, and it's a whole set of laws designed to ensure privacy, essentially electronically, for the citizens of the European Union. Any company that does business in the EU has to comply with these rules and regulations, which people in the United States are like, hey, that doesn't affect me, I don't do business in Europe. But states now are starting to adopt very similar type of privacy laws for their citizens. So California is, of course, leading the way in this. And it's something that you might need to be aware of for your customers or for yourselves if you handle customer information, and some of those customers live in one of these states that have passed these privacy laws. So definitely something to keep on your radar. Maybe additional services you'll be able to offer in the future. But it's been born out of all of some of the privacy issues that there were with Facebook and sharing of customer information, those types of things. So California kind of saw this and said, hey, look at what the EU did. They did a pretty good thing with GDPR. Let's adopt that very similar style of privacy laws for our state. So that goes into effect on January 1st of 2020. So you've got less than a year to get prepared, although it doesn't sound like it's going to be enforced until mid-year of 2020, but definitely something to keep in consideration. And finally, news broke on early Monday morning that ID Agent has been acquired by Kaseya. So Kaseya is beefing up their security offering by now acquiring ID Agent. They'll be obviously able to offer everything the ID Agent has. They say they're going to ID Agent is going to remain an independent business unit. It'll keep its own branding and run on its own. But again, look for bundles from Kaseya. If you're already on their platform, I'm sure they'll start to offer bundles. But I don't know what this means if you're not on Kaseya and you use ID Agent. Information on that was a little not quite as forthcoming. So who knows what it means? But again, if you are a customer of both, then that's probably good news for you, as you might get some discounts in the future. All right, well, thank you very much. I'm now going to turn it over to our interview with Arismonty Beato, again, out of the Dominican Republic, focusing on disaster recovery for his customers. And I will talk to you next week. Hello and welcome. Today I am pleased to be joined by Arismonty, or Monty, as he likes to be called too, Beato from Eridani Data Solutions, down in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Doug. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, no, it's always great to have guests on from other parts of the world. So tell us a little bit about your business. What it is you guys do there.
Yeah. Well, we are concentrating in data protection, basically. Okay. IT continuity services. Mm-hmm. We do just a handful of services, trying to do it with extremely high quality, and they're just focused on things that make the business continue.
Okay.
In the case of a disaster, or in the case of day-to-day operations for a data center.
Okay. And so what made you get into the managed services game?
Well, a brother-in-law, actually, that worked for a big storage company. I was a network guy before.
Okay.
And yeah, he brought me into this world of storage and virtualization stuff, and I kind of like it more than networking. And we did networking anyway, so he thought that I was adding. I came with a base that was available to build upon it and add value there. So yeah, we did it together, and it was 7 years ago.
Great.
We started, and it's been working great.
Okay, now do you do like managed contracts then, or do you consider yourself break fix or? No break fixing. It's all managed contracts. Yes. Okay.
And here in Dominican Republic, it is kind of difficult to get them with big companies. Mm-hmm. But and we think we did a good job of doing it for financial companies and insurance companies.
Okay, so that's
focus on that sectors also.
Okay, cool. So are most of your companies or customers, are they big companies? Are they small?
For Dominican Republic, they are too medium to big, yeah.
Okay.
But not small, because we have very small companies from 1 and 2 people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have a lot of them, but we work with companies that have 100 employees more, and that consider medium and big here.
Okay, cool. And like you said, you do financial and insurance typically.
Yeah, basically that's
the vertical you focus on. Yeah. Are there any special needs in the Dominican that maybe we wouldn't have in the U.S., that?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, but we concentrate on continuity because no one was looking into that. We have some big companies that deliver goods, for example, sell hardware and licensing, and we try to do just professional services. Okay. Because most people were trying to do both or trying to do a lot at the same time, and they don't do it very well when they try to do too much. So we took another approach. We took the approach of we're gonna only do services. We're gonna do specific handful of services to do it with very, very high quality. And we're not gonna sell any hardware to these customers. We're not gonna sell any licensing. So we're gonna be like an advisor to the customer. Okay. And that's what we do.
Okay, cool. And focusing on data protection, I'm in Florida, you're there. We have to worry about these storms. Hurricane season is coming up. So I'm sure the cloud probably factors in quite a bit in your data protection services.
Yes, yes. When we started protecting data centers, but quickly we realized that we had this this disaster recovery thing that no one was really thinking about it. And also we have this seismic country that we have not only hurricanes, but we have earthquakes.
Yeah.
And this is a small country, so yeah, we have to sometimes ship that data to to another country for these purposes, and yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah. So what about advertising? You know, how are you out there getting customers? Is it word of mouth, or do you have billboards?
No, actually, it's still word of mouth. Still word of mouth. We try to grow steadily and not so massively. Although the backup as a service now, we're trying to make it massive, but still it's a question of trust.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have been giving break fix services, and there's not a lot of trust in services.
Okay.
In small business area. So.
Yeah.
And even in the medium and big businesses. So we thought that we better go slowly, but steadily, and develop this trust. And now we have several credit unions, finance institutions, insurance companies that have this trust in us. So we're getting some leads from people now that recommend us. So we are not making any other kind of advertising yet. Okay,
no, that's great. Word of mouth is always the best. If you can get your customers to tell other people, hey, use these guys. So, what about getting started? Do you have any advice for someone who might be looking to get started in services and branch out on their own like you did?
Okay. What worked for us what is working for us is to what I told you before, start with one or two services that you can really do very well, and you can repeat with precision, documentation in a very organized way. I would say it is what I recommend. Don't try to offer anything to everyone. Just look for the better opportunities and try to build upon what you best know, and what your experience, basically. And bring your experience to that service. You can start with one service and do it better than all other people that are doing it, so you have an advantage over that.
Yeah. Are you looking into adding more services maybe down the road? Or, you said you focus a lot on business continuity, data protection. Are you looking to maybe add other things?
Yeah, in the small business area, we see that most companies do not have anybody for IT, and we may be able to fill that gap in the future with very high quality. So we're preparing for that to make it's like a wow factor. You cannot be the same as others. So yeah, we're thinking about it. And but also coupling them with the continuity services and the data protection services.
Okay. What's the best part that you like about being in services and doing what you do?
Helping people to achieve success, helping these companies, and creating these stories where 5 years ago they were a disaster. They didn't know how to budget. A lot of things, and now with our help, they're like thinking more about their business and less about the data center and these IT topics. Even the IT departments were kind of disorganized first, and our services and our methodology has brought an organized way of working, and they adapted to it. So we feel
great. Yeah. Let them focus on the business and not on the IT part, right?
Yeah.
What about what's one of the worst things about services in what you do?
Yeah, that still a lot of people don't think they need services.
Okay.
And, or they don't think the price is right. They think they have to get everything almost for free, and it's a lot of work to do it all right. So that's but that will get fixed over time.
Okay.
Very positive.
Yeah. Now, what about so do you ever go to any trade shows, or do you are you part of like a MSP community? Are you in Facebook groups and Reddit and those types of things?
No, sadly, no. We're focused more on traveling for education, for training, because here it's a little difficult to get high quality or advanced technical training.
Yeah.
Being a very small country, and it's the investment that you have to do is big also. So, and we see many customers cannot do those investments, so we do them.
Okay.
And we've been focused on that, but there's no there's no professional association for MSPs here. Or there's the business registry, like a national business registry, but it's general. It's for general businesses. It's not based on MSPs.
Okay. Well, yeah, I wasn't sure because I know some people, were very active in Reddit, or there's Facebook groups and other areas. So always like to ask if you're part of any of that.
Not yet, but now that you mentioned, maybe we should start giving back.
It can be helpful. So thinking about technology, and whether it's stuff that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, with your job, or just something, consumer tech, what technologies are you most excited about right now?
The cloud, anything cloud, software-defined things that we're so focused on hardware sometimes, but the power is on the software. And most of the time, the difference and the quality or the results are based on the quality of your software. So everyone has x86 CPUs and architectures, the same RAM, is the same disks. What's the difference is the software and the people that configure that, I would say. So cloud continues to be everything about the services in the cloud. Our focus now.
Okay, cool. Now, do you have technology? Do you have companies that are just 100% in the cloud?
Potential customers, very few. We talked with some. There's a university here that their core is completely in the cloud. Yeah, but there's it's a handful of people. It's like 5 in the whole country that doing that. It's very new for them. Most people like to have their data center and their computers right with them, but this university took everything to.
Cool. Now, do you have any bandwidth concerns there?
Sorry?
Bandwidth, internet, especially when we're talking about cloud and data backup and those types of things.
Oh yeah, that in the rural areas is a concern, but it's like getting fixed now with a fiber optic cabling is getting everywhere now. Yeah. And but we have a nice bandwidth now with some telecom operators, and it's not unusual to see 100 megabits per second symmetrical lines now. So we're getting over it. So.
Great. Now, so you talked about cloud as being, technology that you're really excited about. Are there any technologies that concern you or have you worried?
I'm worried. All of them, because security is always a concern. So so cybersecurity is the other thing that should go along data protection or inside the business continuity and data protection. Without security, and you're exposing all your data, all your customers and your business. So you have to put like a layer of security over every one of these technologies. The concern is general.
Security gets us all, right? Are you ready for the rapid fire round?
I hope. I'm Spanish speaking. So.
Well, no, it's easy. Just 6 questions, and then whatever answer comes to your head first. Don't have to think about it too hard.
All right.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Apple or Android?
Android.
Okay. Mac, Linux, or Windows?
Linux.
Okay. Cloud services, Amazon, Azure, or something else?
Amazon.
Okay. And this one should be easy. Local backups or cloud or both?
Both.
Should you always virtualize?
Virtualized?
Yeah. Should you always virtualize?
Not always. It depends.
Okay. And finally, which is worse, printer support or vendor cold calls?
The vendors.
Oh, the vendor. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the vendors, you know, they can get a little persistent sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, anything else, you know, that I didn't hit on yet? You know, any tips or tricks or, you know, do you have for anybody out there?
Well, for us, it's like being a part of the group of the team in the customer. I would say for an MSP, if you're in this kind of service, we behave like another member of the team. And sometimes in meetings, they present us to other companies as a member of their team, and that's I think the greatest success that you can have as an MSP. That your customer has such a level of trust in you that he considers himself as a member of it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what you should aim for, I think.
All right, Monty, it's been great. You know, I think thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me, Doug. It's a great pleasure.
All right, we'll chat at you sometime later.
All right. See you.
Bye.